One of the worst things we were taught is words and opposite. They tell you that there is a definitive opposite for a specific word, and that goes beyond saying words are a description of certain scenarios. They tell you that the opposite of winning is losing. They tell you that the opposite of believe is unbelief. But I'm going to be proving to you now that that is not entirely true. Let's start with winning and losing. You see, because of that education that the opposite of winning is losing, it has made a lot of people that should have been successful or that are on their path to success limit their growth. It has made a lot of people become failures. And that goes beyond saying that you can never be a failure until you accept the failure. So when I say become failures, I'm not directly saying that because they failed in certain things. I'm trying to tell you that they've accepted their failure and made it part of their identity. They believed that the fact that they did not win means they lost, and the fact that they lost means they are failure. But that is not entirely true, because winning and losing are not opposite. They are synonyms. If you're an English scholar, you need to drop your English scholarism out of this video, because I'm going to be painting certain pictures that are not going to make sense to you. And that's why I said, if you are coming along on this journey, you need to come open-minded and come with your intellect. But don't come with the predetermined notion of what you think you already know from what you've been taught in school and what you read in books called dictionaries that someone else sat and wrote and defined. Obviously, we still use the same vocabulary, but you get what I'm trying to say. So the word winning and losing are synonyms. What do I mean by they are synonyms? It means that they not necessarily synonyms as in the definition of synonym, but it means they are similar. It means they are together. They work hand in hand. They go together. And failure to understand this has made a lot of people lose and give up, because the opposite of winning and losing is quitting. That is just the fact. Winning and losing are in oneness. They are, say, brothers of the same father but of different mother. So the amount of times you lose gets you closer to a win. That is directly to tell you that winning and losing are not opposite. So if they are opposite, it means that you either do this or do this. But if this is winning and this is losing, the amount of this is what gets you closer to this. So directly, by that logic, they cannot be opposite. They cannot. It's not possible, because if you need this to get this, then they are together. How do I break this down? I don't know how to break this down into a more simple term, but if you understand, if you truly adopt that fact into your life, you discover that you start to react to your environment differently. You move differently. I don't want to make this centric on financial success, but I remember when I was chasing a particular goal, and instead of doing what everybody does, saying, I want to achieve this goal by X time in X place and Y situation, I did the opposite, because I understood that winning and losing are brothers of the same father but different mother. Instead of saying, this is the specific time I want to win, I said, this is the amount of time I am willing to lose before I give up on this goal. This is counterintuitive. It sounds like you are trying to lose, but what it is doing is that it is taking away the fear of loss, because what winning and losing as opposite does to your brain is that it makes you chase one and avoid the other. Meanwhile, I'm telling you today that go and do your research on billionaires and people that attain financial success, and not just financial success, people that attain success in any way. Go to sports, basketball, boxing, then go to business, then go to even in life. They tell you that they lost at some certain point in time. They lost, and they lost, then lost again, and eventually they won. It is because they are the same thing. It is just a matter of perspective. And when you adopt the knowledge or the fact that winning and losing are the same, you move differently. Because people that go around thinking you either win or you lose are people that chase wins and avoid losses. And the best way to lose is to avoid losses. The best way to lose is to play the game trying not to lose. It is the best way to lose. So instead of chasing success and running from losing, you need to chase losses so you can get to wins. I'm excited talking about this, but I don't know how to break it down to the lowest possible level. So what I did is I started telling myself I'm willing to lose 1,000 times before I call this quit, because I understood that the opposite of winning is quitting. So I said, for me to achieve winning, because I knew that if I didn't win, it means I quit. So I knew that fact. And I also knew the fact that winning and losing are the same. So I said, I am willing to lose 1,000 times consecutively before I quit. Those are the words and opposite. So what that did is that I wasn't necessarily playing the game, running away from losses. I'm somebody that is very lazy. So I would be so very happy to quit. I was chasing the losses. And while chasing losses, I didn't even get to half of those losses and I achieved the goal. So you need to reconstruct your mind. You need to reconstruct your framing of how you perceive wins for you to be able to win. In sports, they tell you that when you play to not lose, you are directly playing to lose. Let me rephrase this. They tell you in sport that when you play to not lose, you are directly playing to not win. Because what it does is that you stop taking risks. You start playing safe. And when you start playing safe, winning is impossible. But when you start taking risk, it is definite that you lose. So with these few points of mine, I hope I've been able to convince you that winning and losing are the same thing. So once you understand that fact, we can now move to the next part. So what is the opposite of winning? There are two. The opposite of losing is quitting. The opposite of winning is learning. For example, if I fight Anthony Joshua and I defeat Anthony Joshua, which is impossible, I only learned one thing, the fact that I can defeat Anthony Joshua. If I fight with Anthony Joshua and I lost that fight, I learned so many ways not to lose again. You see, so you understand that it is either you win or you learn. But if you keep chasing life, or you keep chasing this particular fact or this situation, this scenario as a win or lose, it hinders your ability to learn so you can win. So focusing on avoiding losses makes you to accept that loss. It makes you to eventually meet that loss and get stuck in a state of denial that, oh, this is what I was chasing and this is what I got, because you've not been able to adopt the fact that they are the same thing. You've not come to the discovery that they are the same thing. But until you accept losses, until you embrace losses, your reaction toward losses would never change and it becomes impossible for you to win. Anybody that has made any form of financial success will tell you that they got to a point where they lost so much that they started enjoying those losses. And just in that point where they accepted the fact that they could lose, that was when they started winning. So this is part of the scenarios where context come into it, where you cannot see life as black and white. You have to zoom out and see that certain things that the world has painted for you are not exactly the way they painted it. I'm not going to take you on a conspiracy thread and just keep pulling that thread. So a lot of it might be ignorant. A lot of it might just be out of our need to jump to conclusions. But the truth is, life is paradoxical. And a lot of things, until you ask yourself certain questions, you would be capped. Your growth will be capped simply because of a certain ideology that you failed to revisit. My name is Abraham Bamidele, and you'll be seeing more of me on here. Cheers.